Welcome to your Daily 5 for Thursday, January 11th, 2024. I saw a post by the artist Coop, or Chris Cooper, over on Blue Sky that reminded me of something that I've noticed, but I kept meaning to do a 5 on it. It kept kind of just slipping into the background because, honestly, it was one of those things where until I see a reminder of it, I sort of forget about it. And it's in regards to crowdfund. Well, I guess crowdfunding is the wrong word. Creator support platforms, and specifically Patreon, because I don't know that there's anything else that is the same as Patreon is that's as big as it is. There are definitely other, what I guess you would call donation platforms that a lot of people use, like Buy Me a Coffee or is it Ko-Fi, and I know there's a handful of other ones, but Patreon has really become kind of the standard one where if somebody wants to set up some kind of tiered or some kind of support system that is really easily, managed, and it has a nice set of payment plans and people can sign up and use it easily, and there's a lot of creators on it. Patreon is really kind of at this point the Bandcamp of its area, where there seems to be the least friction between people who want to give money to somebody with relative ease and the person having an organized way of getting it. And Coop said something along the lines, I don't have it right in front of me, but he said something along the lines of, he felt like he hadn't been active enough on Patreon, that he hadn't been posting enough lately, in line with what apparently is the expectation that a creator is supposed to post on there. And I think in the beginning, I could certainly understand why that was so prevalent. When Patreon first started, there was definitely this feeling to it that, okay, if somebody gives you money on here, you're going to have to give them something in return, some kind of extra or some kind of additional access or whatever. And that was how it was for a long time. In fact, ours was like that, where I was doing art book reviews. And then there was finally a point where I said, you know what, this is not something I'm really good at doing. I'm only doing it because I feel like it's expected, but I don't know that it's really all that beneficial to anybody. Plus, I don't know if anybody really cares. The stuff that we want to talk about, we talk about on the show. And so I just gave up on that entirely. And there are many other creators who have stopped even bothering to put any type of rewards to their tier system. They basically just say, hey, this is you supporting me, and that's all it is. And I think that's good. I actually think that's a very positive kind of move that a lot of creators are making, where they're not trying to start doing something they're not good at. Now, look, if you're a writer and you post on social media all the time, and that's something you enjoy doing, by all means, do more of it on Patreon. That makes sense for those creators. But somebody like Coop, who's more of a kind of, he honestly just posts a lot of his drawings and photography, but he doesn't normally post, here and there, but he doesn't do regular posts the way I see other creators doing it. And I don't think to now suddenly have that expectation is a good thing. I just think it puts stress on him and probably makes him think that he's not doing something right. When, as I said to him on Blue Sky, I said, most of the people, I said about half, I think that's fairly correct, probably a little past half. I'd say over 50% of the people I support on Patreon, I don't look at anything they post on there. I'm not interested. I already found what they do somewhere else. I'm consuming it through those avenues. And the Patreon side of it is simply a way for me to try to keep them doing what I enjoy them doing. The whole support your creator model. But I don't expect somebody who makes, let's say, there is somebody on Patreon, I think, who makes like physical miniatures. I don't expect her to suddenly start writing long diary entries about something that's on her mind. That's not what she does. She makes miniatures and posts pictures of the process of making them and that type of thing, but nothing beyond that. And sometimes there's long gaps before there's an update, and that's fine. I'm not supporting somebody so that they have to suddenly post more often and I feel like I'm, interacting with them more. I just want them to keep doing the stuff I enjoy them doing. That is, to me, what the ultimate purpose of any of these things should be. If they want to offer extras, that's fine. The thing that I think is detrimental and does seem to be going away was this concept that you had to offer something that was unique or on top of what you were normally doing. I kind of get why it started off that way. I understand to some degree why that would be the appeal of the platform at first, to get people on it, thinking they're getting something that they couldn't get otherwise. But at this point, I think most people should understand that it is not easy to make a living as a creative individual. It's pretty difficult for most creators. And so the idea that you would contribute money just because you enjoy this person creating in whatever way they do, that is enough. There does not need to be anything else on there. But I'd be curious, I'm sure people who listen support artists through Patreon. Do you go in there expecting that there will be a reward, or do you just contribute because you like what the person's doing and you want to see him keep doing it? Let me know later.